Hi there, a question I get all the time is what is the correct way of holding a Kindle? You would think the answer would be obvious, but unfortunately it's not. Having a Kindle is great for reading books, and unlike our other devices, when you're reading a book, chances are you'll be reading it for a long period of time, sometimes a few minutes, but sometimes it could be a half hour or over an hour plus depending how good the book is. You want to be comfortable while you're reading. Now I've had a Kindle now for a few years, I've made so many videos about them, but to this day, I still struggle with holding my Kindle in a comfortable position. And in this video, I want to talk about a few different ways you can hold your Kindle so you feel comfortable while reading a book. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'll be focusing my efforts on the Kindle Paperwhite. This also applies to the Kindle Basic, but I will not be talking so much about the Kindle Oasis. This is because the Oasis is actually built with an ergonomic design in mind, so you don't really have as much of an issue holding that device for a longer period of time. But with the Kindle Paperwhite, as well as the Basic, there are some issues that we should discuss. Now, what exactly is the problem with holding this Kindle Paperwhite? Let me share a quick story of why this is a problem in the first place. I was reading in bed early on when I got my Kindle for the first time, and I was reading while laying down. I think I was switching hands or something like that, and the Kindle just fell flat on my face. It was actually a bit of a painful experience, but I laughed it off. The fact that this happened was pretty embarrassing. The reason why this happened, especially on the Kindle Paperwhite, is there's no real place to rest your hand in a comfortable way. Usually, you want to hold the Kindle on the side of the device, but on the Paperwhite, the bezels are just a bit too thin to comfortably rest your fingers there without covering up the screen. There have been countless times where I've grabbed the side of the Kindle or I've changed hands and then I've tapped the screen by mistake, and as the page is turned, I've gone left or right, I don't know which way, I've got to find my place again. This happens way more often than it should. Another issue that I constantly run into, especially on my Kindle Paperwhite, is that stupid power button on the bottom of the device, because if you hold the device from the big bottom bezel where you think maybe that's where they want you to put your hand, the power button is there, and I often find myself pressing the power button by mistake, and the whole device just goes to sleep, and that's just not a fun experience either. But the most frustrating thing for me is when I'm using a case on my Paperwhite. All the cases that I've used have a hard shell on the bottom of the device where my pinky is usually resting, and that really causes a bit of irritation when holding the device for a long period of time. I really wish it was a bit softer where my fingers are resting so I can hold the device without feeling any kind of sharp pain from a hard plastic shell. Now that we've talked about the problems that I've had with the Kindle Paperwhite and holding it, let me talk about the way I actually hold it and what's worked for me. It's pretty simple. I usually hold it with my thumb on the right side of the device with the pinky at the bottom supporting it, and it's just on either side. If I switch hands, which I do quite often as well, it's the same thing but on the other side. I also find myself sometimes, not as often, just holding it from the very bottom, holding the grip at the bottom bezel. That also works very well, but turning the page like that could be quite annoying. For most use cases, this does get the job done, but I've still had issues while holding it in this position. I've seen other pictures online of people holding it in different ways. It honestly just comes down to your personal preference, but there is a product that I stumbled upon on the internet. They've actually reached out to me to talk about this problem exactly, and I want to share it with you because you might find this useful. The product that I'm talking about is called Strapsicle. Now, I want to make it clear right from the beginning, I am not being sponsored by them. They have no influence of what I'm saying about their product. They did give me an affiliate link along with a discount if you're interested in buying it. It'll help support this channel, but they have no control over my thoughts and views of their product. Strapsicle is actually a really neat idea for specifically this exact issue. Basically, they're these little silicone straps that you put on your Kindle, and you can easily put your hand in the back of it and hold your Kindle. No matter which direction you do it, it's not going to fall off. It's a very secure way of holding your Kindle. I also really love the company behind this product. They are a very small family-run team, and they actually had an exact similar situation happen with them when they were holding their Kindle. It was a mother holding her Kindle while reading, and then she dropped the Kindle on her baby's head. Luckily, the baby is okay, but that sparked this idea, and they launched the Strapsicle company for that exact reason of having your Kindle fall out of your hand at the worst possible time. The cool thing with the Strapsicle straps is you can have both on. It comes in a pack of two, so you have one for the one side, one for the other side, or you can just take one off and only have one strap. It's very flexible to your own personal preference, and there's very detailed videos that you can watch to find the right way to hold it the way that works for you. I also really enjoy how they have multiple different colors to choose from. It's a very fun, different kind of product that I've never seen before. So if you're interested in checking it out, I do have a 10% discount code that you can use in the description below. Whether you live in the States, you can buy it on Amazon if you do, but if you live internationally as well, you can buy it directly from their website and get the discount through there too. Now, there are a few things about the Strapsicle I want to mention that you may find not to be the most pleasant experience. The first complaint that I have is it does cover up the corners of the screen. It's not the biggest deal though, because you can still read the text on your book just fine. It's just a bit of getting used to there. The other complaint that I have is if you already have a case for your Kindle, you probably won't be able to use it properly with the Strapsicle. You technically can make it work if you try making it fit, but it just feels a lot nicer without any case. So if you don't already have a case, they won't be an issue for you. But if you already invested money into a case, that might be something you should consider. And the last thing I wanted to mention, not really a complaint, but more of a disclaimer, it does take a bit of getting used to. Using the Strapsicle is a very different way of holding your Kindle. So be prepared for the transition period of holding it the way you're used to compared to the new way of using the Strapsicle. Anyways, that ends my little rant of how to hold a Kindle, finding the right way to hold it. If you have a different way of holding it that I didn't talk about in this video, leave a comment down below. I would love to learn more about it. Or if you're interested in checking out the Kindle Oasis, I just posted a video recently about my thoughts on it 3 years later. Is it still worth getting? Link for that video on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.